What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the TRÜF Life Podcast. This is episode 79, the last episode of the financial literacy season. Now, I started this with the intention to give you guys basic financial literacy, some things that I didn't know, some things that I didn't understand when I first started out. And I was like, if I would have known these things, I think I'd have been a whole lot better. They say whenever you know better, you do better. If you're not going to do better, you're probably just stubborn. So I wanted to give you guys the information so that you can go ahead and start living the life that you want to live, which is the TRÜF life, way faster than me because I made all the mistakes for you. But anyway, I learned a lot along the way. And because of that, because of this learning, I'm able to speak to other people and just throw a bug in their ear. It might not be their way of doing something, but it might help them in their own way. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you guys what I've learned. These methods are risky. Some of these methods may work. Some of these methods may not work. I'm just telling you what has worked for me, what I've studied, what I've learned from other people. You choose to decide to do what you want to do with that information. With that said, today's episode, we're talking about how to escape the rat race. Now, I first heard about the rat race by reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. But I was cruising the internet the other day and just looking for articles to get, my financial literacy up. I'm always reading about finances. And I ran across this Oberlo article that talked about how to escape the rat race. And I was like, that's what I was fighting my whole life. Like, how do I get out of this cycle of having to go overseas to play basketball? How do I get out of this cycle of having to make it to the NBA or having to have a certain job to live a certain lifestyle that I wanted to live? And it took me a while to find out, but now I figured it out. And now it's my choice to come overseas. If I want to stay home, I can stay home. But now it's my choice to come overseas because I'm having, tremendous experiences, and it matches my lifestyle. I'm a basketball player. I want to play basketball at a very competitive level, and being over here, it's still fun for me, and I'm doing pretty well for myself. So I didn't want to cut that out because I can retire at any moment, and you only can do this one time, and this is pretty short time of your life. So what is the rat race? Let's talk about what is the rat race. In the Oberlo article, they define the rat race as: the rat race is an exhausting weekly routine of trading your time for money for your entire working life. Those in the rat race serve business owners and investors with minimal financial reward in return for their manual labor. Now, I read a lot about ancient times in Egypt and looked at how people build the pyramids, and I realized one thing, that the ancient Egypt looked at people as energy. It wasn't gas. It wasn't oil. People were the driving forces of societies back in the day. They were energy. And the same thing goes for today, is that people run these businesses. AI is starting to take over. You're getting bots and things like this, and a lot of things are becoming more digital. But for the most part, people are still programming these robots and this AI. So you need people to run your businesses. But the thing is that most people don't like the rat race. They don't even realize that they're in a rat race. They've been conditioned to think that you should work a 9 to 5. They've been conditioned to think that you should only get the weekends off. They've been conditioned to think that you only should get 2 weeks out of the year off. And I just don't think that that's how life is supposed to be. No one was born on this earth to work. We was born on this earth to enjoy. You know how to say enjoy the fruits of your labor? We're born on this earth to enjoy everything on this earth. The beautiful scenic views, the beautiful vegetation, the beautiful streams of rivers. Those are the things that we take for granted that we should really cherish. But we can't even get to those things because we wrapped up in our office for 9-10 hours a day working for a company that you don't even really have no type of similarities to. You're just working there because of the check. And I understand, I get it. You got to work to provide, and you got to support yourself and your family. I get it 100%. But if your life is diminishing First off, you got to know that your life is diminishing and realize that there's more to life than just working and making a dollar, right? You should be doing everything in your power to get to a job that can pay you, but still living your life according to your core values and some of your hobbies, so that you can have fun, so that you can be with your family, so that you can have a sense of community, because that's what humans are for. You know, we should be enjoying life, especially with people that we care about. So you got to ask the question, why does everyone want to escape the rat race? Well, it says for one is living paycheck to paycheck. About 99% of the world population is either poor or middle class. That's tough, man. Majority of the world is poor or middle class. I hate that we even have classes, but it just makes sense because of our financial decisions. We don't respect the nature of life. So since we don't respect the nature of life, classes do make sense. Because they said, I heard from a rich guy one time, he told me that he doesn't believe in poverty. Says, some people are born in situations that there's nothing they can do about it. He said he gets that, but he's talking about for the far majority, people have an overconsumption problem. People want to live like the Joneses. People want to live a life perceived of wealth when they in return they really have anything. So he said that if you give everyone in the world the same amount of money in 10 or 15 years, the same people who have the majority of the wealth today, in 10 or 15 years, those same people will have the money, because those are the people who is focusing on creating things that we need, while other people are focused on buying the things that they need. So it's a distinct difference right there. One group is creating what you need. One group is buying what you need. So if one is supplying you with water, that means that one is going to be wealthier than the other. So that's that. And most people that live paycheck to paycheck, the rat race is so hard is because you got to stress. The amount of stress that come after that, you work all those hours to pay your bills and not have nothing left over or a small amount. You have to minimize your kids' life. You have to minimize your life, your spouse, or whatever the case may be. And you guys really just are working to live. That's no way to live. I think careers are bullshit. Me, myself, personally, I think careers are bullshit. I think that hobbies and interest is where it's at. And you do that. If you're making 40K, but you're having a blast every day, you're living a pretty good life. Even if they will consider it middle class, it's really upper class for you because you don't need much to survive, right? So another reason why people want to escape the rat race is because of they're looking for more life and work balance. That's the same thing what I just was talking about. You spend 40 hours a week for 30 to 40 years working. You got to spend some time with friends and family. That's a lot of times away from your kids. That's a lot of time away from your spouse. That's why I asked my wife when I first met her, I was like, how do you feel about school? If we're in a position of power, a position in place where we have money that we don't really need the school system because we don't have to go to work and we can work from home and we got income coming in to sustain our lifestyle, I doubt my kids go to school. So many people be like, oh, well, you're depriving them of a social life. Your kid won't have a social life if you don't have a social life. If you have a social life, your kid will have a social life. You're controlling their social life a little bit better because whenever they go to school, they're in the hands of any and everyone, including the teachers. And they're implementing their values on your kid and they're implementing their ways of life, which might not be in agreement with what you want in your own household. So yeah, you want more life and work. You want more life and work balance. You don't want to just work, and you burnt out. You get home, you can't even make love to your spouse. You can't even cook up a good meal. You're eating noodles and things because you're just burnt out. You're not supposed to be burnt out. You're supposed to be excited about life. You're supposed to be living every day like it's a TRÜF life. That's what this podcast is all about. So one of the main reasons why people try to escape the rat race is because of that work-life balance. And another reason is, number 3 is because You say working for others is soul sucking. He says, when your alarm goes off in the morning, you hit that snooze button, you're like, another day. You back on it. One of my quotes is, I know that I'm rich when I don't have to set an alarm clock. That's the first line. The second way I know that I'm rich is when I'm never cold. So I'm understanding who I am. I understand that I don't like to be waking up by alarm clock. I like to be waking up naturally. I like to go to sleep happy. I like to wake up happy. I don't want to go to sleep because I have to, and I don't want to wake up because I have to. I want to do all of those things naturally, right? And never being cold is just, I'm a Southern boy, so I like the heat. Plus, I'm black. I'm colored. My skin is colored, whatever you want to call it. And we belong in southern regions. You know, being in these cold places, our body don't get to thrive in those places. So I'd rather be in a place where my body thrives. So, but you can have these soul-sucking CEOs, man, that's just assholes. That's just working you to death no matter what you do. They don't appreciate it. You ask for a raise, they're like, we can replace you. It's tough, man. It's tough when you're working for a person that think that they're better than you and you have no control about it. You have no control about it. You know what I'm saying? Some bosses are perfectionists. Some bosses are more lenient. Some bosses are more patient. But at the end of the day, you have to rely on them being in whatever mood they're in so that you can have a productive day. And I don't want nobody to have that type of control over me. Now, don't get it twisted. When I'm calling out all of these things, I'm not against 9-to-5 jobs. I'm against being complacent in a 9-to-5 job and doing that for the rest of your life. Everybody can't be a boss, but you can take that money from 9-to-5 job and you can invest it in certain things that can kick back you some income so that you can survive and live a decent life. Use your money wisely. Use the 9-to-5 to give you the life you need to survive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so big shout out to let's go ahead and do a shameless plug. Shout out to my website, TyrenJohnson.com. It's newly designed. Go to the website if you want to check out the ebook, How to Make Them Pay. Dropped it like a month ago. Very, very well detailed ebook about how I built my mentality to become a professional athlete. Should be a Bible for the high school players and high school athletes and college athletes. And if you're just a person that, just want to get through something when you're overlooked, check out How to Make Them Pay, my ebook. On that site, you can also buy my beats, TyrenBeats.com. You can also buy some merch from me. Just go on the site, check it out, and show us some love, man. But besides that, let's get back to it. You got to ask yourself, okay, we know the rat race is. We know why people want to escape the rat race. So how do we escape the rat race, right? Well, the first reason is you got to give yourself a why. Give yourself a why. Whenever you have a why, you have a certain motivation that you just cannot compete with. Nothing can compete with when you have that why. It's like whenever you go to sleep at night, you're waking up for a reason. Whenever you're working towards something, you're working for a reason. Like when I played basketball, I know my why. I knew my why when I was coming up. It's kind of crazy right now because the circumstances have changed drastically. But my why was I wanted to show my other side of the family who I was. My mother and my father separated. My other family lived about 10 minutes down the road, and I didn't have a relationship with them. So I woke up every morning trying to make sure that I'm about to put in this work and I'm about to be an athlete so that my family on the other side can see my face in the newspaper with a new last name as much as possible. I almost wanted my name to be Tyren Williams Johnson, but I just took on my stepfather's middle name and I just called myself Tyren Milton Johnson. But I was trying my best to make sure that my face is being seen in this paper so that they can see me. And I lived in a community, but I went to school in another community. So the community I live in was our rivals. It's called St. James. I went to West St. John. And when we played in St. James, my grandmother and grandfather lived 2-3 minutes down the road. I had some of my best games against St. James because I wanted word to get out around town that they got a kid from West St. John that actually lives in Vashtree. That is unbelievable. That was my main motivation. Like without that, I don't think that I would have got a scholarship. I don't think I would have went D1 because my main motivation was just to prove them like, look, we don't have a relationship. This is what y'all missing out on. You know, this is the beautiful thing that's brewing in Vashon, Louisiana. That's me. And I felt like you guys forgot about me. But, you know, going with life, when you understand life and you realize certain things, you understand that probably wasn't the situations. Relationships go left, relationships go right. Today, I have a great relationship with my father, my sisters. My grandmother died, grandfather died, but I met my auntie, and it's a beautiful thing. And I love them like we know each other our whole life, and our relationship is just amazing right now. But that was my motivation. That's the only reason that I still had some of that motivation when I was coming up through college, because those relationships just started to build up in the last year or so, you know. But it's an amazing thing, man. Go ahead and patch those bandages with your family member, because there's nothing like family member, man. The second thing is how to escape the rat race is to stop buying things. Look, becoming a minimalist has been one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Like, I don't have a sneaker collection. I don't have a collection of clothes. I have about 2 pair of jeans, a couple of t-shirts, a sweater, a big jacket for the cold, a bubble jacket for like rain and cold weather, a couple of accessories, African chain, no diamonds, standard watches like an Armani watch, and I think a Hugo Boss watch, which is very cheap, but looks elegant. I got like 2 pair of sneakers, a pair of workout shoes. I keep about 2 or 3 basketball shoes to keep my shoes fresh. But besides that, that's all I got. That's my wardrobe. You know, I buy more things like tech. I buy more like cameras and things like that. But that's investments, because I make money off my computers and things like that. What I would say is the most money I spend most money on like sounds for my beats. Those sounds that I use in my beats are very expensive. I would say, yeah. And my graphics, like sometimes I buy templates and stuff to make better videos or to, manipulate. But that's what I spend most of my money on, is those type of things. But those things are making me money. A lot of you guys get your money and you just spend your money ASAP. That's going to keep you in a rat race. I'm telling you. The third thing is to pay yourself first. My net worth has changed drastically because before I spend a single penny, I pay myself first. As soon as I get my check, it goes straight to my investments. I built up my emergency fund. Then after I built up my emergency fund, every dollar after that goes straight to my investments. I try to invest 60% of my money every month. Every month I try to invest 60% of my money. I have fun with 30% of my money, and I give away 10% of my money. That's how I do it. You don't have to do it that way, but that's how I do it. Number 4 is acquire assets. That's the only way you can really get out of the rat race, is if you start taking yourself out of the equation. If you keep on working all day, money, it's not going to be enough money. You got to make your money work for you. I try to make my money a slave. That's why I do the 60-30-10 method, because every dollar has a purpose. So no dollar is resting in my bank account. That's why when people ask me for money nowadays, most of the time I say I don't have it. They know I make money, but in reality, I really don't have it because I go broke every month. I'm paying myself, I'm investing the rest, and I'm giving the other 10% away to something that I believe in. So I don't have the money, Make that money work for you, man. Buy assets so that you can speed yourself retiring. That speed up the time. Learn sales and marketing. The most valuable business skills that'll help you escape the rat race are sales and marketing. You got to sell things, man. You got to sell yourself. You got to sell your products. You got to sell something. I mean, before we have all of these businesses and careers, we use the barter system as humans. You got bananas, I got apples. I got a whole bunch of bananas. You got a little bit of apples. Let's go ahead and trade so that we even. And you get this. You got a cow. I got a goat. Whatever the case may be, man. You selling yourself and selling the things that you have, using your skills to make extra money. When you make that extra money, reinvest that money so that you can get out of that job as fast as possible. Right? Pick up a side hustle. The whole last episode was about side hustling. Side hustle is how you really get that fast. If you're making 45, 50,000 from your job, try to make another 20, 30,000 on the side. That's 80 grand a year, right? Saving 20% of your money every year for the next 10 years off of an 80K. And grant you, the first year might be 20K of your side hustle, but that can easily replace your job. It can easily go up to 40 grand. Now you're making now you're making what I'm saying. You're making 40,000 from your job, making another 40,000 from that was 60 grand before. But if you're making another 40,000 from your side hustle, now you're making 80K. So every year your side hustle can go up if you're doing it right. Invest all that money. If you got 40K in side hustles, that don't even touch your bank account. That goes straight into investments. And number 7, which is invest your money. This is how you escape the rat race. This is what rich people do. They invest their bread. The fastest way to get rich in America, from my understanding, my research, is real estate. That's the fastest way. That's one of the most tried and true ways. We need somewhere to stay. You got stocks. Stocks is you acquiring parts of other businesses. I mean, we need businesses to survive. The other way is starting your own business. That's how people become extremely wealthy, because you can make money off that forever. Stocks are pretty risky. They go up and down. Real estate, it's not a guarantee that your house is going to go up in value, but it's still going to be valuable. But your own business you control that. That can go from 20 million or 30 million to 100,000, 200,000 to 10,000 a year. Most businesses fail, to be honest with you. But if you do it right, it'll pay off way more with less investment and less risk than stocks and real estate. It's my opinion, right? Number 8 is outsource everything. You know what I'm saying? So I like to talk about this all the time, because being an entrepreneur today is like it's almost like a flex. Like, I'm a boss, I'm an entrepreneur. None of you guys are bosses. Bosses have employees. None of you guys are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs don't work in their business. They own a business. You're self-employed. That's what you are. You're self-employed. If you're working inside of your business, you're self-employed. Me, I would consider myself self-employed, although I've called myself an entrepreneur in the past. Just gaining knowledge, I realized that I'm self-employed because I work heavily in my business. One of my problems is I have problems outsourcing things and hiring people. I rather do every little detail. If you see a graphic on my page or in my marketing scheme, that's me. If you see a marketing scheme, that's me. If you see a video, that's me. If you hear a beat in a video, that's me. I'm doing everything. That don't make no sense. I'm gonna be honest with you. That makes no sense. I should be outsourcing all of this, but I get joy in figuring it out, and I get joy through the process, and eventually I'll get there. But right now I stink at it. But you should outsource everything. You don't want to work in your business. You want to work on your business, right? So number 9 is saving money. You got to save. You got to prepare for emergencies. You got to make sure that you got things in case the world go bad. You got to make sure that you got bread just sitting around somewhere, And plus, the stock market is so up and down. It's like you can catch a dip. Like, stocks can fall drastically. If you got cash, you coming up because the stock market goes up. If it's down 10, 20%, you buy it down 20%. When it rises back up 50%, you get all those gains. Plus you got it on sale, right? Same with real estate. Same if your best friend come with a business opportunity. She might be in a truck and she got 2 or 3 trucks and she wants you to buy some trucks. Boom, you got the cash. Buy the truck. The number 10 way of how to escape the rat race is you got to quit your job. You got to quit your job. That's how you escape the rat race. You have to quit your job, but don't quit your job until your money on the side or outside of your job is replacing your income or is close to your income to where you can live a sustainable life. Don't quit your job with a dream and a hope, end up homeless and end up begging people and becoming a burden on people's life. Don't do that. Make sure that you got a detailed plan. Make sure that some methods are tried and true, and then you quit your job. Don't just quit your job on a whim because you believe in yourself and you think that God is going to fix it for you. Listen, I don't know your religious beliefs, and I'm not going to try to knock it, but God ain't putting the work in for you. You got to put the work in. You got to make sure that you got a plan, you got a system, and that you on your stuff. Otherwise, it's going to be tough and it's going to be rough for you, and you can't blame God after that. So, in conclusion, the rat race is something that we should not be doing. We're not rats and we're not racing in life. Life should be a bliss. Everything in life is not going to be a bliss, but you actually learn whenever it's turmoil. So accept that, accept the hard things. Nothing wrong with a job. 9 to 5 is cool, but do what you got to do to get out of that 9 to 5 some type of way. I don't care if it's about 45, if it's about 50. You retire at 60, 61, you got 10 to 15 extra years that you can get back on living your life without having to work. And sometimes it's like my mom. My mom is addicted to being a teacher. My mom loves kids to where she don't care about the money. She don't care. As long as her bills paid, she got some extra money to do what she got to do after. My mom still live life. Her life is more exciting when she have those kids because she's so passionate about those kids and she loved them so much. And a lot of kids consider my mom. Like my mom have thousands of kids. And I respect that about my mom. And I respect that she know who she is. If she retires and she just sitting in the house all day, it's going to be tough. Her hobby is being a mom to multiple kids. And I salute my mom for that. I respect my mom for that. But I said that to say this, is that although I said all this about quitting your job and 9 to 5, it's like, it's not as bad as you think. But if you want to live a life more on your terms, yes, you got to get out of that. And those were some of the methods to get out of it. This episode is a little bit long. I'm sorry. I've tried to keep these episodes to 15 minutes, but we went a little bit long because I think that this topic is very important. And since it's the last episode of the financial literacy, we're getting back to mindset next week. And for the duration of this, I'm only going to do this one time. If you want to have more information on this, then you got to get into the Make 'em Pay coaching program, right? Hit me up. We could do one-on-one coaching. But yeah, man, I think this is some good information. Please leave a comment on the video. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. Subscribe. Please share with your friends because that helped me out a lot. That gets me on the radar of many people. And to end this, I'm going to leave it the same way I do every time. To live a truth life, you got to make them pay every day. All right, I'm out.